said stream now. There's really no way to create a title for it. Okay, I just clicked it, so, and it's red. Well, I never changed the inning. Technically now we're in the bottom of the fourth. Yeah, bottom of the fourth. Rusty had a heart attack. Okay. The audio's coming through too. So do you see the score is 3-0 right now? Okay. All right.
Better late than never, as Zach Zook has just told me, as we finally reach back on air. Back in Jefferson City, Missouri, the Sedalia Bombers lead the Jefferson City Renegades 3-0. My name is James Stanley, alongside Zach Zook, the replacement, the DJ Diaz 2.0. As we're in the top of the fifth, and the Sedalia Bombers have struck for one run in the first after an error and A single right up the middle by Ryan Flores. And then finally 2 runs in the 4th on a 2-run shot to right field just over the 300-foot sign. But now there is 1 down in the top of the 5th inning, and the Renegades trail 3-0 in their season opener. And Zach, if you want to bring us more up to speed, it's been absolute gas out of the hand. Well, rather of Jorgens tonight. Jorgens for Sedalia so far has only given up 1 hit. He set down the Renegades' perfect 9 in a row through the first 3. And he's from the University of Houston, so he really has come up to Missouri and thrown some gas so far. Popped up, outfield. On the run is Rogers, the new center fielder for the Renegades, puts it away for the 2nd out, and there are 2 away in the top of the 1st inning. But Zach, if you want to run us through what Sedalia's been able to do so far tonight with Spencer Jorgens from Washington, Missouri, and the University of Houston native.
Well, Sedalia didn't waste any time getting on the board. They reached base with Bonaire, second hitter of the game. That was Wheatley, who stole second base, then came around to score on a Flores single. Flores then added 2 more RBIs with a home run over the right field fence, and that's currently where we stand.
Soft tapper over to shortstop McIntyre. Strong throw to first and a good stretch by Jones. He's been doing that all night long. Picks up another one, and there are 2 away. 2 down for Sedalia in the top of the 5th. They lead 3-0 over the Jefferson City Renegades in their Meek League home opener of 2018. Their 2nd year, went 20-26 last season. And really had a tough loss in the 2017 Meek League wildcard game to the Nevada Griffins.
Call actually safe over at first.
Oh,
Benefit of the call over at first base, so the Sedalia Bombers with a runner on.
So Sedalia with a runner at first base. Was an awfully good-looking stretch from Jones. He's one of these new additions for the Renegades this summer. Quincy Jones comes in at 6'7", replaces Anthony Green, who is currently at Jeffco and suffered an injury this year, was planning to transfer to the University of Missouri, but that will have to be put on hold for the meantime. So far, that offer has been retracted from, it's Beezer, the head coach of Mizzou baseball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Adam Grundon trying to keep his team in this game. So far has thrown 48 pitches. Here's the set, the nod, and 2-1. Fly ball and foul. Count evens up at 2-all.
On a home run friendly ballpark such as this, James. 300 to the corners, 340 to the power alley, and not quite 400 feet out to dead center. You're going to have to live with some of the home runs. Obviously, the 2-run shot back in the 4th inning hurt the Renegades, but Grundon's really been around the strike zone. He's had the odd speed working. He's worked back to front with the breaking stuff, and then the fastballs later in the count. He's really done a nice job for the most part.
2-2 pitch jammed up inside and fouled away by Chris Lewis. Actually, Tyson Cushman. We're back up to the top of the order. So Grundon set again, delivers the 2-2, and that one misses outside. Bring the count full on pitch number 50.
And it's okay if you're going to miss with that off-speed pitch, James, but you want to miss exactly where Grundon did, and that's out of the zone. When it gets over the zone and over the plate, that's when it flattens out, and that's when you'll see the big 400-foot bombs.
So ball 4 issued to the leadoff hitter Tyson Cushman, and Ashani Wheatley will come in to take his cuts. We'll go around the horn for the Jefferson City Renegades. Couple of familiar faces on the hill and also in the outfield and at second base, but Tyler Brockton of William Woods joins the team, one of 6 Owls on this roster that Mike DeMillion in the offseason made an addition for, and Rogers in center field, and Mike Million in right. Hudson at third base, McIntyre at shortstop, Smith at second. That's Jordan Smith, another William Woods product, and a returning player from last year. Jones at first, and Frank's behind the plate. Adam Grundon on the hill. So 3 Owls out in the field if you include Brock, Jones, and Grundon. Grundon a transfer from Longview Community College. J.D. Reese originally was supposed to have the start tonight behind the plate. Also, another player went to Longview, but J.D. Reese just recently accepted an offer to transfer to Columbia College. So both of them playing in the American Midwest Conference of the NAIA ranks. 3-0, 2-0 count to Ashani Wheatley. Here's the pitch. High and inside, 3-0.
Wheatley's had a productive day at the plate, although both have gone against his batting average, James. He reached on an error by the third baseman, and then on another error in his second at-bat. Came around to score both times, so errors have hurt the Jefferson City Renegades early on in game number 1. And you think that they have the spring season to warm up, since they're all coming from college ball, but what gets lost in that, I think, is we don't know when the last time these kids actually took the field and played a baseball game. Some of these have had layoffs for multiple weeks. And now you see the control starting to waver just a little bit here, James.
Ball 4, back-to-back walks, and the bases are juiced for Ryan Flores. Had a double in the first inning. And this could be trouble for the Renegades.
Last guy you want to see with the bases loaded, and we'll get a mound visit at least.
And Rather had an RBI single back up the middle in the first, then was caught out 1-6-3, part of a inning-ending double play from Santiago Garcia, who currently sits in the on-deck circle.
So, James, how long do you think the leash is on night 1 of the season?
Well, it's Adam Grundon. He dealt with an arm injury last year. Actually, rather, this is Alex Loosebrook, as Grundon was pulled before this inning even began. As, again, we apologize for all the issues we've had tonight. It's been a whirlwind of a day, to say the least. Zach, you and I both came in from St. Louis early this morning, then had to drive and meet the godfather of Euclid TV. Gave us an offer and some equipment we couldn't refuse. Then had to drive all the way to Jeff City from Macon. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Loosebrook, and Adam Grundon will get your final stat line on him momentarily. Let's talk about Murphy's Law. Everything that could have happened wrong tonight has not been going the Renegades' way. There is a good group of fans in the stand, as the 2-0 pitch has popped up on the infield. Hudson has a beat on it and looking much more confident in this catch this time. Looked a little shaky earlier. Puts it away for the second out. And they're 2 away for Santiago Garcia.
Well, what I was talking about earlier with the layoff, as you'll absolutely take that if you're Loosebrook. Bases loaded with a dangerous hitter at the plate and a runner to third base with less than 2 outs, and they don't get the job done.
Loosebrook or Lubrock? Who would you rather have?
I think I'd take the former.
Swing and a miss at the first pitch. Fastball blown by Santiago Garcia. Grounded out 1-6-3 his last time up.
It's been a day to forget for him at the plate so far. 0 for 2. He's made 3 outs already. Grounded into the double play, then struck out looking.
The crowd wanted that one to be called a strike, but just misses off the inside corner. 1-1 goes the count.
Chance to redeem yourself in a hurry.
Here's the set in the 1-1 pitch. Grounded foul. And 1 ball, 2 strikes to Santiago. Kevin Jones awaits in the on-deck circle. So far, the Renegades offensively have been swinging at the first couple pitches, and they've kept the pitch count low. Rather, as a ball is hit hot and hard into left center field, rather into the left field corner. 1 run comes in, here comes 2. Wheatley being waved home, and a bases clearing double for Santiago Garcia. Redeems himself, comes into that at bat 0 for 2, then clears the bases with a 3 RBI double down the left field line, and the Renegades trail 5-0.
Well ahead in the count in this one, James. You don't want to give the hitter something that they can turn and burn on down the line, and that is exactly what Loosbrock did, and Santiago punished him for it.
So now 2 RBIs on the day for Flores and 3 for Santiago Garcia, the 3 and 4 hitters for the Sedalia Bombers. Gavin Jones, the number 5 hitter, digs in. He's grounded out to third base both times tonight. Again, opening night at Ernie Vivian Field. Another year of history started. This field has played host to some of the greats of baseball, from Satchel Paige to Ernie Vivian himself in the Jefferson City Redbirds. Stretch in the 0-2. Fouled away, staying alive.
Talk about the history of this field, James. This Mink League, too, has a bit of history as well. Been around since 1910 and has been
definitely been a lot of changes, though. Not your grandfather's Mink League or great-grandfather's Mink League at that point, as the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Curveball right down the middle, strike 3, punch him out. Loosbrook gets out of the inning, but not before allowing 3 runs, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Sedalia leads 6-0. Wasn't a math major, but we'll be right back. Thanks for joining us here on UClick TV. Stay tuned for more Renegades baseball. Welcome back to Ernie Vivian Field. James Stanley back alongside Zach Zook for year number 2 of Renegades baseball on UClick TV. We thank you for joining us, and thank you for sticking with us through the hard times. As the Renegades have hit a rough patch themselves, they find themselves trailing 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Quincy Jones looking to get his first hit as a Jefferson City Renegade. Here's the windup and the pitch from Juergens. Grounded hard up the middle. Back up to Cushman. Cushman off balance throw to first, and a good pick by Flores. Out of the dirt, and there's one away in the bottom of the 5th. And we have another redaction, or mistake to say the least, Zach, and that's not Adam Grunden, who was originally scheduled to start tonight. That has been Loosbrook throwing all 6 innings. Rather make that all 5 innings tonight so far.
And he's done a good job. The control wavered, but he was able to get to 2 outs until he gave up the double.
A hard hit ground ball by Franks to shortstop, quickly gunned out at first, and there are 2 down. And if there's anything that Mike D'Amelia might want to say to his team, and that's not swing at the first couple of pitches so early. You're facing a D1 guy out of a very good Cougars program at University of Houston. And you got to be a little more patient. Got to take your hacks as Caden Helsel takes his first look of the night.
Yeah, Juergens has looked virtually unhittable out on the hill. Not blazing speed. He'll throw in the mid-80s and can reach back and get a couple extra miles an hour up to 87, 88. But not blazing speed. He's not going to throw it by anybody, but fantastic control out on the bump and effective braking stuff has kept the Renegades off balance all night tonight.
Helsel, here's the 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Another strikeout for Juergens, and we go back to the top of the 6th in Jefferson City, Missouri. We'll be right back. You're watching Jefferson City Renegades baseball on UClick TV. Top of the 6th inning back in Jefferson City, Missouri. James Stanley alongside Zach Zook for Renegades Baseball. We appreciate you joining us all season long for the Renegades in their 2nd year trying to make it back to the Mink League playoffs. But so far, they find themselves down 6-0 on opening night, as Loose Brock has not been pitching an ideal arsenal so far, if you will. As he walks another batter, that's his 3rd walk just in the last 2 innings, and his 3rd walk of the night.
And the leash has to be getting tighter on Loose Brock here as the pitch count continues to rise. As I beg your pardon, James, we actually have a left-handed pitcher on the mound. As Loose Brock has been yanked, he will finish 5 innings, 6 runs officially, with the 3 spot in the 6th, doubling the score for the Bombers.
This is the way this night has been going, Zach, but we'll be able to hit the reset button tomorrow night.
That's the great thing about baseball.
Gotta have a short memory.
There's always a game tomorrow.
No, that's something that Rusty Creed likes to preach. Curveball hung out over the plate, but fouled off by Tyler Pettit.
So it's Caleb Lasher, the 6'2" freshman, left-handed pitcher from Willard, Missouri. Plays his collegiate ball at Southwest Baptist, and James, I wondered why that name sounded familiar to me, and it's because I had the pleasure of watching him pitch at Lindenwood when he came to St. Charles.
Lefty Lasher, curveball in the dirt, rounded right up the middle. Lasher goes to second, over to first for 1, and they can't complete the double play. The ball goes out of the glove of Jones into the stands, and Tyler Pettit reaches on the fielder's choice and reaches second as the ball goes out of play.
Well, defense has been a problem for the Jefferson City Renegades as well. As much as Loose Brock maybe didn't bring his best stuff tonight, he pitched well enough, I think. into the air certainly didn't help his case. And that has continued here as Lasher is trying to throw up a 0.
Lasher spent some time with the Renegades last year, and decent stuff out of the pen. In 21 and a third innings pitched. Started 3 games. Pitched in 5 total. As I said, he joined the team late with a 1.68 earned run average. So this is the guy that Mike D'Amelia wanted to go to shut the door and stop the bleeding. Here's the 1-1 pitch from the lefty. Curveball in the dirt. Beautiful stop by Franks. As again, J.D. Reese was scheduled tonight to be the battery mate of Adam Grundon, but after the scratch, it's Luce Brock who started the game, and Frank's still in it, catching for lefty Lasher.
And another thing I think you have to keep in mind with these summer teams, James, is that the faces change. We talked about how there were only 2 Division I players at the top of the broadcasts with the squad last season, up to 11 Division I, 15 Division II. Some of them will be joining a little bit later on in the summer, but a completely new team. So it'll be interesting to see, especially on the pitching staff, how these roles figure out. Is Lasher going to be a middle reliever? Will he be a long relief man?
Golfed up out of the bottom of the zone, giving chases. Brockton, he makes a sliding catch in left field. What a play by Brock, and he sends Eads back to the dugout, 2 away in the bottom, make that top of the 6th.
Fantastic sliding catch.
That's a William Woods product in left field, and made it look easy. 2 down for the number 9 hitter, Tyler Laporte. Then it's back up to the top of the order. Laporte is 0 for 2. Scored back in the 5th on a bases clearing double. Swings to the first pitch, ground ball, third base. Hudson, 1-step throw to first in time, out number 3. And the Renegades stop the bleeding as the Bombers put up numbers in the 4th and 5th innings, but not in the 6th. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Renegades trail 6-0, looking to get the bats rolling, and we'll be right back. You're watching Renegades Baseball on UClick TV.
Timeout.
Back in Jefferson City, Missouri for the bottom of the 6th inning. Zach, no, we didn't time out. We're still here. Zach Zook to my right in place of DJ Diaz, who had quite an experience last year, Zach, and I don't know if you're going to have the same opportunity he had. He got to throw in a Mink League baseball game last summer. I hear you can pop the mitt fairly well as the 1-0 pitch is blown by Jordan Smith. He's hitless today.
I played the outfield in high school, but pitching.
Well, you also played semi-professional football, which is more than what most people can say. Jordan Smith gives this one a ride into center field, but a diving catch by Wheatley. And Wheatley robs Jordan Smith. He'll have to wait for his first hit another time.
Really nice catch out in center field by Wheatley. He has flashed the speed tonight. Stolen base already in this game. He's reached on a pair of errors and now flashing the leather in center field.
Brock swings at the first pitch, but telegraphs it foul. This is Brock's first year playing in the Mink League, another product brought out of William Woods University just down the road in Fulton.
Brock did a pretty nice sliding catch himself just a half inning ago in left field.
William Woods had a couple of players on this roster last year. Tyler Cunningham is one that comes to mind. Played first base with the Renegades, but a couple new first basemen for the Renegades this season. The 0-2 pitch laid off by Brockton. Works the count 1-2 against Spencer Juergens. Juergens so far has allowed one hit. Trying to cut through the Renegades' bottom half of the order, but up near the head takes it for a 2-2 count. Ridge Rogers is on deck. Curveball misses out and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Brock will recollect himself and dig back in with his team down 6-0 in the bottom of the 6th and 1 out. Bases empty.
This is a nice at-bat from Brock out of the 9-hole. Fell behind the count 0-2. It'd be pretty easy to go down swinging here at something out of the zone, but doing a nice job of working it back to a full count.
Payoff pitch is high, and that's the second base runner allowed by Spencer Juergens tonight. Renegades could do some damage here. Last year's home opener against the Sedalia Bombers, as you see Rusty Creed over there at first base. We'll have him mic'd up tonight. We'll get to that later. Craig McAndrews, the head coach of Sedalia, making his way out to the mound. Affectionately goes by Boomer. Also another William Woods connection. He was the head coach at William Woods for 2 seasons before leaving to join Devin Marnes.
Well, William Woods
Rather, I
is such
can't think of the head coach's name at Columbia College. This is terrible.
Well, William Woods is such a recruiting hotbed for the Mink League, James, and especially Jefferson City. It's right next door on the other side of Columbia. And
Darren Munns. There you go.
Ding,
Sorry,
ding, ding.
Zach. But yes, there is a lot of hotbed of talent, and if you look at what Mike D'Amelia did last year with a bunch of JUCO players and a couple of high school players, a broadcaster and 3 coaches, you really can tell he's a good coach. His team went 20-26 last year, made the Mink League wildcard game in their first season as.
I like how we credit DJ with an actual roster spot.
Oh, you got to give him the. Well, he's not even part of the other. The other includes. Oh, Denny Atwell, believe he threw an inning. He might have thrown an inning. I think they were going to slate him to play second base. I know that the bench coach, rather the bullpen coach last year, also threw an inning. And there's a nice Sinai base hit for Ridge Rogers, his first base knock as a Renegade. And Renegades are knocking at the door with runners at first and second. That was a game, though, against the Cassville Arrows where DJ Diaz came out in a jam. Was able to get the final out of an inning to get the Renegades. They were up by 2. DJ would have been in line for the win. But he came back out the next inning. He sat for a long time in that hot July Missouri heat. Came back out and he punked 3 guys in a row. Rusty Creed walks up to him at the mound after he hits the first 2 guys. Rusty Creed says, DJ, what are you doing? And DJ replied to him, I'm trying to win a game for you, coach. And DJ lost the handle on the 3rd pitch of that inning and plunked a Cassville arrow, loaded the bases, and that was the hook. And thus ends the story of the Cuban Missile. Or rather, the legend. But Justin McIntyre trying to take advantage of Juergens as he looks to be a little bit out of gas. 1 ball, no strike. 1 ball, no strikes, and here's the pitch. Grounded hard, third base, and that's over the third baseman's glove. Rounding the horn, here comes Brock to score. Renegades are on the board. Sliding to the third safe is Ridge Rogers, and Justin McIntyre knocks in the first run of the night. Renegades trail 6-1. And this will be it for Spencer Juergens. Craig McAndrews knows how deadly this Renegades lineup can be when the bats get flying, especially with home runs. So we'll take a quick break in Ernie Vivian Field. The Renegades trail 6-1 as the Sedalia Bombers go to the bullpen. We'll be right back. You're watching UClick TV and Jefferson City Renegades baseball. Curtain call for Spencer Juergens in the bottom of the 6th inning. He goes 5 1/3 innings, has given up 1 run so far. The Renegades could do some more damage with the number 3 hitter Logan Hudson at the plate. 0 for 2 on the day. He's due for a hit. And currently has the count 2 balls, no strikes against Nathan Kroner. Kroner from Independence, Missouri, and goes to Evansville Community College. Tall, lanky lefty with ducks on the pond at 2nd and 3rd. The set and the 2-0 pitch. Looking nervous as the hard hit foul ball out of play by Logan Hudson.
This rally started by Tyler Brock, who was behind 0-2 in the count, James. Fought all the way back to earn the walk. And you really see the difference in the result when the Jefferson City Renegades slowed down and started seeing some more pitches. Juergens has looked unhittable tonight, but they've still chased him with plenty of time left to go in this game.
Well, the Renegades could knock in the run at the plate. They would make quite a dent, only be down by 2 going into the last third of the game. Very similar to what we saw last year out of Sedalia. Had strong starting pitching, but the bullpen maybe not quite up to snuff. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball outside, loads the bases on the 2-seamer, and Mike Million, the home run king from last year, had 9 home runs that led the entire Mink League, steps up to the plate. And boy, if he could knock it over the left field wall like he did 9 times last year, Zach, that would be a huge boon for the Jefferson City Renegades.
Well, we talked after the Bombers home run about what a home run friendly ballpark this is. 340 out to the power alley. I'm not 100% sure, but I can say with fairly enough confidence that the fence at Missouri Western is a little bigger.
Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch taking a strike on the outside corner. Interesting move by Boomer, the Craig McAndrews, head coach of Sedalia, to bring in a lefty to face the 2 power righties of this lineup. Logan Hudson and Mike Million both hit from the right side. Here's the set in the 0-1. Blooper, right field side. Flores on the run at the warning track. Puts it away. Here's a throw to the plate. A slide, and he's safe! Ridge Rogers tags up from 3rd and scores on the sloppy throw from Flores to Garcia. could not squeeze the lemon and make the tag, and the Renegades trail by 4. A productive out for Mike Millian, his first RBI of the year.
Well, what a dangerous play at third base, James, but it pays off for the Renegades. Boy, he was out by 20 feet at least. But the Renegades catch a break, and maybe that's the momentum that this Jefferson City squad needs here to rally the troops here on opening day.
Rather, that's a score by McIntyre. No, Ridge Rogers scores. What do you think, error? E2? Will that have to be the call?
Well, you would think just
because he should
a
have
sack fly, but because he was
he
out by
that,
20 feet.
He was out by 20. Go with E2. Is that still a sacrifice fly then? Don't think that was the intention, so I'm going to go with no. That's no RBI for Mike Millian. Hard hit ball into center field. McIntyre scores. Hudson held up at second, and the Renegades trail by 2. The bats are singing. The crowd is getting on their feet, and the Renegades have put together a nice little rally in the bottom of the 6th. Hand things off to Cade Franks. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Strikeout and a ground out to shortstop in the 5th. Once again, lefty-righty matchup. Let's see what he can do. The set from Kroner, the pitch. Blew it past him. Hard fastball. And Cade Franks behind on that one. Franks got the start today over J.D. Reese. Here's the 0-1. Hard hit foul ball into the netting, and with 2 outs, Franks will have to take some defensive cuts. You talk about endearing nicknames for players. You could say that Cade Franks bears a resemblance to General George Custer. Here's the set and the 0-2. Fastball out and away, gopher pitch misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got him swinging, strike 3 in the dirt. Franks is out, and rather the score is 6-3, not 6-4. Got a little bit ahead of ourselves, but the Renegades get half the runs back in the bottom of the 6th. Here we go to the top of the 7th. Back in Jefferson City, Missouri. We'll be right back. You're watching Renegades Baseball on UClick TV. Top of the 7th inning back in Jefferson City, Missouri. James Stanley alongside Zach Zook for Jefferson City Renegades Baseball. We thank you for joining us tonight. The Renegades struck for 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. They still trail 6-3 to the Sedalia Bombers on opening night at Ernie Vivian Field of 2018. Tristan Steffens out on the hill now for the Renegades in relief of Caleb Lasher. He went 1 inning of no-run baseball, gave up 1 walk, and a fielder's choice left 1 runner on for the Bombers in the top of the 6th. Two balls, 2 strikes the count to Tyson Cushman, the leadoff hitter, as he golfs that swing into left field. Tyler Brock giving chase and makes another catch in left field. That's the 2nd time tonight that Cushman has flown out to Brock in left, and there's 1 away in the top of the 7th. Ashanti Wheatley has scored every time tonight that he's gotten on base. Reached on an error in the 1st, came around to score after stealing 2nd. Then an error in the 6th, came around to score, was walked in the 5th, and came in on a 3 RBI double by Santiago Garcia. In the 4th, came in to score on a 2-run bomb by Ryan Flores. So Wheatley and Flores are due up. As the first pitch high and tight, a little bit of chin music for Ashanti Wheatley.
And Wheatley already with the stolen base tonight, James, so you don't want to put him on for free.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. Six to 3, Sedalia Bombers. Pitch is painted on the inside corner, can't locate. 2 balls, 1 strike goes the count. Flores is 2 for 3 tonight. He's on deck. If anyone has done an excellent job at the leadoff role, it's been Wheatley, finding ways to get on base and then coming around to score. And that one hit him on the shoulder. He'll wear his red badge of courage, take first base with 1 out.
And what do we say, James? You don't want to put him on for free. Already the stolen base tonight, so he will absolutely be a threat to steal. At some point this inning, you'll have to keep your eye on him if you're Tristan Steffens. And you said it, James. He has done an outstanding job of setting the table for Flores, who has driven in 3 of the 6 runs here this evening for the Bombers.
And has driven in Wheatley 3 times as well. Pass ball gets behind Franks, and scampering down to second base is Wheatley. So that'll move Wheatley into scoring position, and Flores looking to do some more damage.
And these are the little things in baseball that add up. The wild pitch, now you don't even force Wheatley to steal the bag. Now Sedalia with good speed and scoring position in less than 2 outs. They'll have 2 cracks to get one of those Renegades runs back.
Renegades just need some good, solid defense. The team has looked a little shaky so far today, with errors at third base, shortstop, and grounded hard into the new dugouts at Ernie Vivian Field, first base side for the Sedalia Bombers. Dugouts are equipped with a lavatory and exits at the front and rear of the aircraft. Be sure to fasten your seatbelts because this could be an awful ride for the Renegades this season. Rather an awfully good ride. Set from Steffens. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low in the zone and grounded foul. 2 strikes to Flores. We will have some words of wisdom from Mike D'Amelia on tomorrow's broadcast. Be sure to check us out. The team travels to Sedalia to take on the Bombers in Game 2 of this series. Here's the set in the 1-2. In the dirt, blocked by Franks, kept in front of him, and count evens up at 2-all. couple of new coaching additions for Jefferson City. John Cavness and Chris Ebright. We'll learn more about them in a little bit. The 2-2 pitch fouled away. That ball was way out of the zone, and you talk about a Vladimir Guerrero type swing at a pitch that no one really should be able to make contact with. That's what Ryan Forrest did with that one.
And we're getting to see the depth of talent at the plate for Flores. If you're wondering why he's the 3-hitter right in the middle of this lineup, here's why. Not only can he hit the ball over the fence, perform with runners in scoring position, he can work the count and has a solid approach at the plate.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The set from Steffens. Checks the runner. Kicks from the letters. Grounded foul.
And you see again, Flores able to get a piece of it. Little cue shot into foul territory. Obviously not hit very well, but just keep on fighting off pitches until he gets something he likes. And on the flip side, Steffens needs to look for that strikeout pitch.
Steffens kicks and deals the 0-2. The 2-2, which is ball 3 in the dirt. The count full to Flores. So I think if you're Steffens, you might be a little bit rocked that Flores is 2 for 3 with the 2-run shot back in the 4th inning with the lefty-righty matchup. Might try to nibble around the zone a little bit. Let's see if Franks can set him up well inside. Sets him up down low. Got him swinging, but may have gotten a piece of it. And he did, so he'll go back to the witness stand and take his cuts.
And to your point, James, with the base open at first, Steffens may nibble a little bit, and he has the power to do so. You saw Steffens expand the zone and actually got a chase, but Flores able to still get a piece of it.
Flores waits. Steffens kicks and throws at a pitch that is swung on in the dirt. Throw down to first base, completes the old-fashioned K2-3, and they're 2 away in the top of the 7th.
And there you go, Steffens went in the same spot, and Flores was unable to lay off of it for a second consecutive time, unable to get a piece of it that time. And Steffens able to dispatch probably the toughest Bombers hitter so far here tonight.
Ball gets behind Franks, and moving over to third base is Wheatley on the wild pitch. So took second on a pass ball, now down to third base on the WP. Santiago Garcia is 1 for 3 on the day. One of 4 strikeout victims from Alice Lusbrock, who started out this game with high hopes of becoming the pitcher of record, and that's what he did, but he gave up 6 runs. 3 of those 6 were earned, gave up 4 hits, walked a couple 3. Fly ball left field, diving and missing it is Brock. That drives in Wheatley, and that's the second double of the day for Garcia. He's really liked the left field corner at Vivian Field, and what an effort by Brock to lay out, try to catch that one in his glove. That's 4 RBIs on the day now for Garcia, and back-to-back doubles.
Nice effort by Brock indeed. We saw him with the sliding catch earlier on in this game. This one just out of his reach, and probably thankful that Garcia only made it as far as second base, as that thing rattled around and got caught down there in the left field corner. Nice job by Brock to get up and hustle to get the ball back in quickly.
Do a final stat line. I believe we already ran through it for Lusbrock, but 5 innings pitched, 6 runs, 3 of them earned, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Caleb Lasher had 1 inning of relief pitching. No runs, no hits, no strikeouts, 1 walk. And now we go to Tristan Steffens. Steffens has given up 1 more run, and the Bombers lead 7-3. Fastball misses low and inside. 1-1 goes the count. A little bit of stirring out in the Renegades bullpen. This has been a long inning for Steffens.
And he takes his time between pitches too. As you notice, he has a much slower pace than some of the other pitchers we've seen here tonight.
Grounded foul, and that's a way to get a strike. Gavin Jones has 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitcher's count for Tristan Steffens.
And pitching does at times, James, seem to always be about pace. And throwing the hitter's timing off. That's why you see so many herky-jerky motions and wind-ups and side arms.
Well, what's the old adage? Hitting is timing, and pitching is offsetting that timing. Not sure if that's a Yogiism or not. Sounds like it could be. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside, and that hit Gavin Jones, the second hit batter of the night for Tristan Steffens, and that puts Ducks on the pond at first and second.
That looks like a good call from our home plate umpire Bowman tonight, as it nicked the jersey.
That's Dan Bauman. Bauman, an NAIA local umpire who's seen a lot of William Wood's work. He's done a good job in the AMC. I believe this is John Cavness going out now, another William Woods product. Talk about where everybody knows your name. Not Cheers, but still William Woods has 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 connections on this roster. That's a fantastic program that they have really built up in the last couple of years. Darren Munns left just a couple of years ago, and then Craig McAndrews left after that. Brock Nels came in just rather more than a couple of years. Craig McAndrews was the head coach. His first year was 4 years ago, then left after his second season. Now Brock Nels just wrapped up his second year as the head coach at William Woods, and he's really done a good job recruiting, getting some JUCO level talent. Brought it over and was involved with the Renegades last year. Was out here giving some words of advice to Mike D'Amelia and looking at his pitchers early on the season, and unluckily the Renegades did suffer a couple of injuries. 2 balls, no strikes to Chris Lewis, who's 1 for 2 on the day with a walk back in the 6th. 7-3 your score, top of the 7th with 2 outs. Jones at first, Garcia at second. Lewis waits. Here's the 2-0. Right up the middle, ground ball over to second base, flip over to shortstop for the force out. McIntyre steps on the bag at second, and Lewis will reach on a fielder's choice to end the 7th top frame. So with that, we go to the bottom of the 7th, stretch time at Ernie Vivian Field. The Renegades trail 7-3 to the Sedalia Bombers on opening night. See if they can get the bats going against the Sedalia Bombers bullpen. We'll be right back. You're watching Renegades Baseball on UClick TV. Welcome back to Ernie Vivian Field in the bottom 7 frame. Renegades trail the Bombers 7-3 here on Euclid TV. Trying to get things done with the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Caden Helsel, Jordan Smith, and Tyler Brocht, who are hitless today. They'll try to make some noise against Nathan Kruner. 1 ball, no strikes. Helsel swinging from the right side. Kruner deals. Fastball bites the black outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Goes the count to Helsel. We'll set the defense for you for the Sedalia Bombers as something that should be done early on the game, but might as well do it. And Zach, as you said, as we start out in the 5th inning, better late than never. The 2-1 pitch blown by Helsel, and he's even at 2-2. But Lewis in left field, Wheatley in center, Eads in right. Jones at third base, Laporte at second. Laporte at shortstop, Cushman at second. Flores at first, Garcia behind the dish, and there's another strikeout for Nathan Kruner. His 2nd strikeout of the evening. Jordan Smith is 0 for 2. A little bit of fun hazing last year when he came up in the middle of the year. Just a senior high school player out of Rockbridge High School in Columbia, Missouri. Until he got his first hit, the Renegades players, his teammates, got to choose his walk-up song. I believe that Call Me Maybe was on that list. George Michael's Careless Whisper, another favorite. As that one grounded into the Renegades dugout, and Jordan Smith needs to choke up. He's down 0-2.
Careless Whisper, an absolute classic, by the way.
Was that Josh Reddick on the Oakland Athletics who had Careless Whisper as his walk-up song? Here's the 0-2 pitch. Curveball outside. Can't locate 1-2.
Well, I couldn't tell you the answer to that, but I know it's in Deadpool.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just a bit outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jordan Smith.
Well, my question to you then, James, would be how long did this go on?
Went on for, I believe, 2 or 3 games at least, if not a couple of weeks. First hit was a double, but this one golfed up and just beyond third base. Jones called off by Laporte. The shortstop puts it away for the 2nd out, and there's 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. It's up to Tyler Brocht, the number 9 hitter. Renegades have 7 outs to work with in this ball game, down by 4. First pitch fastball taken outside by Brocht. Brocht drew a walk in the 6th and flew out to right field in the 3rd. See what other damage he can do. 1-0 pitch. Blown by him, strike 1. Good eye by Brocht and moves the count to 3 balls, no strikes. Renegades were able to extend an inning in the 6th, rather extend the 6th inning with a walk from Logan Hudson with 1 out. Let's see if Brocht can catch the same stroke of luck, but that pitch bites the lower third of the zone for a strike, and the count is 3-1. Kruner takes the sign, deals fastball high, and finds the zone. Nonchalant strike call by home plate umpire tonight, Don Bauman. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 strikeouts on the inning for Kruner. And we go to the top of the 8th in Jefferson City, Missouri. Renegades trail 7-3 on the U. Top of the 8th inning, back out in Jefferson City, Missouri. The Renegades trail the Sedalia Bombers 7-3. James Stanley alongside Zach Zook. Ethan Rackers on to pitch for the Jefferson City Renegades. Tristan Steffens is done after 1 inning of relief work. He gave up 1 run with 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and hit 2 batters. So he'll face the bottom third of the order of the Bombers. Tyler Pettit, Justin Eads, and Tyler Laporte. 7-8-9 hitters as the pitch is popped up and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes to Pettit. 0 for 3 on the day. See if Rackers can rack him up this time. The 0-2. Got him this time and strikes out his first batter as a Renegade on the mound. One ball, no strikes to Justin Eads. And Rackers gets this pitch racked into left field and off of the big red monster for a solo shot. Justin Eads, his first home run of the year, comes into the at-bat hitless, scoreless, and winless and leaves with a home run. And Zach, these are runs that the Renegades cannot exactly afford to give up, trying to mount a comeback in the late innings.
Not at all, and if you get pitches up in the zone in this ballpark, you're going to be punished. Sedalia has had the bats working tonight, and that's home runs to left center and right center field now. And now I believe that's the 3rd hit batsman tonight by the Renegades as well.
More hit batters than home runs surrendered. 3 hit batters to 2 dingers. Now we're back up to the top of the order and Tyson Cushman. It's looking like a formidably well-formed Bombers roster, as the Bombers have been a team characteristically in the past that have struggled in the earlier part of the year. They usually have recruits that come a little bit later, but Craig McAndrews has to be very happy with how his team has played so far. So far for the Renegades, we'll see if Mike D'Amelia can bring some inspiring words for his team. Try to have a good rebound road game tomorrow at Sedalia. 2 balls, no strikes, the pitch. Misses outside, and Rackers can't find the zone.
Well, I think it's started with their approach at the plate tonight, James. For the vast majority of the evening, they have not expanded the zone. They have made the Renegades pitchers come to them, and when the Renegades arms have made mistakes and left it out over the plate, they've hammered it.
Right down the middle goes Ethan Rackers. Finally is able to get a strike on the count, and the count moves 3-1. Here's the set and 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Back-to-back runners on the bags, put runners at first and second base for Ashante Wheatley, who has scored every time he's reached the bag, rather reached first base. Aaron the first, stole second, came around to score. Aaron the sixth came around to score, and a 2-run shot by Ryan Flores, who was on deck. Walked in the fifth, came around to score, and an RBI double, 3 RBI double by Santiago Garcia, and then was hit by a pitch in the 7th. Took second base on a pass ball when the wild pitch sent him to third and came around to score on another double by Santiago Garcia.
Well, 3 base runners allowed in a row now. 2 consecutive following the home run, and neither put the ball in play, James.
Just a bit inside, and Wheatley had to dodge that one.
And I think the message has to be, so you gave up the home run. How do you come back and respond from that? That is what Rusty Creed and the rest of this Renegade staff will be looking for, especially out of these new guys that maybe they don't know how they respond to pressure or what situations they feel the most comfortable in. As now we get a visit, and it's probably for that exact reason. The control wavered. He's fallen behind 2-0 now after the hit batsman and the walk, following the bomb put off the Big Red Garage.
Big Red Garage, I like that one.
Kind of like Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Well, DJ and I try to come up with a clever name for the warehouse in left field. Big Red Garage, I think we'll stick with that one. Rackers trying not to be so rattled as he deals ball 3 to Ashante Wheatley.
And this is a learning experience, James. Rackers, regardless of this outing, should be able to learn from this experience.
Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. That might be the hook for Rackers, as there is some movement out in left field in the Renegades' pen.
Looks like he'll get one more hitter, so a chance here for Rackers to really test his mettle. He's worked himself into a jam, essentially given free passes around the bases. 2 walks and a hit batsman.
That one telegraphed into center field. Rogers there to put it away. Tagging up from third base goes Laporte. Scores easily, and Sedalia goes up 9-3.
Nice job by Flores in the RBI situation to get something up in the air out of the infield. An easy RBI for Flores, who adds to his already productive night.
I like the Bash Brothers aspect between Flores and Garcia. Anything you can do, I can do better. As Flores now has 4 RBIs and Santiago Garcia has 4. He's really been going back and forth all night, trying to be the Mink League leader, and runs batted in. Throw down to second base. Beautiful throw in the dirt. What's the call? And not in time. Franks out of high school had a 2.07 second pop time. That time unable to get the speedy Wheatley with his second swipe bag of the night.
Well, the first time Wheatley went, Franks didn't really get a clean shot at him as he double clutched it. That time you saw the quick pop time behind the plate.
Off the end of the bat, frustratedly, Garcia throws his bat, but stepping on the bag is Jones for out number 3. And that will send us to the bottom of the 8th. Renegades trail 9-3 here on UClick TV. We'll be right back. You're watching Renegades Baseball. 9-3 your score. Into the bottom of the 8th we go here on UClick TV. The Renegades down by a country mile, trying to make a comeback against the Sedalia Bombers. And both these teams played really competitively last year through the first half of the season, but then Sedalia just really got the bats out, and so far that has been the case every time these two teams have played. Hard hit ground ball, second base, Smith. Rather not Smith. Cushman. Fields throws the first in time to get Ridge Rogers. Justin McIntyre, 2 for 3 on the day. Responsible for 2 runs in the 6th, scoring 1 and driving in 1 as well. As his second, make that first look at Kroner. After Logan Hudson comes up to the plate, he's on deck, then Kroner will have faced all 9 Renegades. Pitch fastball misses outside. I think the Renegades will at this point be trying to wait out Kroner's arm, just see if he gets a little bit tired. Wait for something good to hit, but 6 runs is hard to come up with in 2 frames. 2-0 pitch outside, ball 3.
And not a good start to this hitter, but let's give Kroner some credit tonight. He's really come in, and I believe in his 2nd or 3rd inning of work already. Has really been a good relief pitcher.
3-0 pitch right down the middle, strike 1. Came in and slammed the door in the 6th. Renegades were really close to making a little bit of a comeback. They trailed 6-3 after the 6th. Came in, shut the door, and so far has been absolute nails. Has recorded 3 strikeouts, and on the heels of strikeout number 4. Here's the payoff pitch. Ball 4, good eye. McIntyre heads to first base. Logan Hudson up to take his hacks. Off the end of the bat, there's a base hit into left field. Take that right field, and Hudson swings at the first pitch, and the Renegades 2 on with 1 out. Maybe trying to do a little bit of damage with the middle of the order. Mike Millian 0 for 3 on the day. Hit .304 last season. Now brings up his walk-up song from last year. And you talk about baseball players being a little bit superstitious. See if this will juice his bat. Looks at ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Millian 0 for 3. Only player above the number 5 spot in this Renegades lineup tonight who's yet to reach base. And the only Renegade not to at least get a base knock. He hits that one straight to the backstop, and Zach Zook, with ice in his veins, doesn't even flinch.
It'll be interesting to see if we caught that on the camera.
One of the funnier ones from last year was a foul ball that came directly back in, knocked the camera off its stand. Luckily, the camera was okay. Maybe he's trying to hit that White Sox hat you have stationed on the table. Not a White Sox fan. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. And I can't imagine if you're playing baseball near Springfield, Missouri, that you would be a White Sox fan, as Springfield is the home to the Springfield Cardinals. The Double-A affiliate? No, Single-A affiliate. Or is it double?
Single A, I believe, is the Springfield Cardinals, and they have the Memphis Redbirds.
They're Triple A. A hard hit foul ball off the leg guard of Garcia. Count evens up at 2-2. believe Springfield is Double A because they play the Northwest
Now that I
Naturals.
think about it, the Springfield Cardinals are a Double A affiliate.
Talking about other Cardinals history, the St. Joseph Cardinals used to play at Phil Walsh Stadium, now the home of the reigning Mink League champion St. Joseph Mustangs. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Million hopes this one gets out of play, giving chase as Flores. Makes the catch in front of the first base dugout for the second out, and that's the third time tonight that Million has popped up. Trying to give a home run swing on a pitch that's jammed up high.
Well, sometimes players can fall into this pit of launch angles and trying to get the ball into the air, and when you haven't perfected that and it takes you a little bit outside of your game and you start shooting balls up the elevator shaft, so to speak, it can be a frustrating sight, especially for a hitter as good as Mike Million.
First pitch strike taken by Quincy Jones. Jones is 1 for 3 on the day. An RBI single back in the 6th, his first hit as a Renegade. Welcome to the club. Josh Estrada last year got the first hit in Renegades history. The 0-1 pitch fouled off for strike 2.
That foul ball brought to you by Frosty's Auto Clinic, providing quality automotive services and repairs in our community since 1993.
A little bit of added difficulty to that base hit for Jones as it was off Croner. Lefty-lefty matchup, he did a nice job of turning on it.
Fastball outside, puts the count at 1-2. Well, there's one thing that we hope does not stay consistent with the Renegades is how this game started out for them. Down 6-0 early, and how this broadcast started as well, Zach.
Well, tomorrow's a new day. They'll switch up the venues.
And also big shout out to our technicians at Blue Frame for finally getting this game jerry-rigged, to say, as we're streaming through YouTube onto the Blue Frame website. Appreciate you joining us. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Quincy Jones. And we promise tomorrow night we'll be better. Full count, 2 outs, runners at first and second, bottom of the 8th. Renegades trail 9-3. Payoff pitch, runners go, ball 4, bases loaded for Cade Franks. We'll see if the catcher can do some damage. And rather, Mike DeMille is going to go to his bench. Cade Franks out of the game, and pinch hitting Jake Slunder.
Slunder, 6'2", a freshman, out of Cabot, Arizona. Division I baseball player out of Murray State currently. He comes up in a big spot here.
Boomer goes to the mound. And goes back to his dugout, has some confidence in Croner, but the hook will be short. Can the Renegades do some damage? Slunder looks at the first pitch, taken for a strike on the outside corner. Bring it up a little bit so like you have like the batter like more center of the frame, because remember there's also no, I mean like actually like tilt up for the camera. So you just want the umpire's feet like barely. Gotcha. 9-3, bottom of the 8th. Slunder at the plate. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, 1-2. No more room at the end. Runners at every bag. With 2 outs, this is what you dream about as a kid. Maybe not the bottom of the 9th, but still the bottom of the 8th and a chance to do some real damage. Here's the 1-2 pitch. The dirt, ball 2. The Slender comes around to score. The Renegades only trail by 2 into the 9th, and that's a doable deficit. Sedalia struggled last year with closing out ball games. Dalton Christian was not himself. Struggled as the closer role. And so far, the Kroner started out a little bit shaky, and they get back up to the top of the order in the 8th. This frame, he was unable to shut down the 2-3 hitters. And he shuts down Slender, the pinch hitter off the bench for his first strikeout of the year. And that sends us to the top of the 9th. Renegades trail 9-3 in Jefferson City. We'll be right back. You're watching Renegades Baseball on UClick TV.
Your attention now pitching for the Renegades, number 34, Chris Shaputis.
Top of the 9th, back out in Jefferson City, Missouri. James Stanley with Zach Zook for Renegades Baseball on UClick TV. Chris Shaputis out on the hill to pitch the 9th. Comes in to replace Ethan Rackers, who gave up 2 runs in 1 inning relief of work. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 2 walks, and 1 hit batter. Shaputis will face Gavin Jones, Chris Lewis, and Tyler Pettit. With the Bombers leading 9-3 into the top of the 9th. Crowd has thinned out a little bit, and you can tell who the true fans are at this point. With your team down by 6, or 3 more outs to go. Shaputis steals off speed that misses high. 1-0 the count to Gavin Jones. Jones is 0 for 3. Mike Million is now behind the plate. This was his first appearance as a catcher in a Renegades uniform. Taking his place in right field goes Slender. Here's the 2-0. Popped away for a strike. Mike Million may be one of the best secret weapons as a catcher in the whole Mink League ranks. Wind up and the 2-1. Popped up, right field, Slender moves back, then comes back in and puts it away for the first out of the 9th. Wind up and the pitch. Nice stuff from Shaputis and gets that one by Lewis. Lewis can't catch up to the craftiness of the pitch, and he's down 0-1.
That foul ball brought to you by UClick TV, the official broadcast of the Jefferson City Renegades.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And Chris Lewis trying to get some good traction, some good footing at home plate while Million and Shaputis meet at the mound. Shaputis is the 5th pitcher used tonight by Rusty Creed. That one hit back up the middle. Shaputis knocks it down. And reaching first safely is Lewis on the infield single. Mike Million's going to come out and check on Shaputis, make sure he's all right. Zach had a little bit of an obstructed view. Did you see exactly where Shaputis got hit?
Well, it was definitely in the lower body, I think off the thigh, and didn't look like it went directly off his knee, which is always the concern, or the ankle. Any part of those joints, always a concern because those bones can break easily, and you have so many tendons there. And the smart play by Hudson at third base to just eat it.
Got to give some credit to Hudson, however, trying to pick up his teammate and pitcher on the hill. Million almost had a nice snatch throw down to first. Try to catch Lewis snapping.
Well,
Nice snap throw.
Million at the catcher position, James, could turn into one of the more interesting stories that come of tonight. Is he catching in just in a purely emergency situation, since Coach D'Amelia didn't maybe want to waste the legs of his other catchers and save them for the games ahead? Or is Million going to be a viable catching option in competitive games in the future?
The 0-1 pitch, runner goes, and that one in the dirt skips away from Mike Million. A wild pitch, it will go in the scorebook. That was very difficult for Million to keep that one in front of him. Well, talking with Rusty Creed last night, Million is going to be doing a lot more catching this year. And just something that's so impressive about Million is his inability, well, not inability, but his choice to not use the leg savers. And just one of the best athletes on this team all around. He sets up outside. Here's the 1-1. Curveball right down the middle. Can't locate. Tyler Pettit has the count 2-1.
Well, Million, a two-sport athlete in his own right before finally settling on baseball.
Not a problem you once had, Zach. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The baseball-football combo seems to be one that has worked for a number of athletes over the years. Players like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders come to mind.
Well, if you had to pick one player out of the Mink that's like Bo Jackson, foul tip staying alive is Pettit, you would have to choose Mike Million. His defense in the outfield last year was absolutely incredible. He made some fantastic leaping grabs. Don't know if you came across any of those in your search of highlights.
Indeed I did. They weren't hard to find.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the Chris Shaputis career. And that's the second strikeout in a row for Pettit, his 3rd of the night overall.
In addition to his athleticism, Million possesses incredible arm strength from right field, and that speaks to his coach's confidence to put him behind the plate as well.
It's an interesting story how Mike D'Amelia came across Mike Million. Originally was out in St. Louis looking for some outfield arms and just happened to see Mike Million catching. And wanted to bring him to Lincoln University, which Mike Millian was the head skipper of until the program folded a couple of years ago, before he became the head coach of the Jefferson City Renegades. So Mike DeMillia is still getting deeply involved in sports. Last year has found himself coaching at the high school level, wrestling. Some of the other coaches on this Renegade staff, maybe except for Steve Bell, or also known as Frico, which I believe that baffled you, Zach, when you first met Frico today and you didn't quite get the nickname, but we'll run through that in a second. Here's the 0-1. Just a bit inside, but not quite enough to tag Eads. Eads is 1 for 4 of the day with a solo shot back in the 8th.
Yeah, that one flew right over my head.
And he was a FedEx delivery driver, Steve Bell was. And I want to say he was in San Diego or Las Vegas, out on the West Coast, and these two women, every time he'd go deliver a package, say, "Here comes that Frico." And the name stuck. And talk about the antics that went on between Rusty Creed and Frico last year. There are some funny stories that may not want to be leaked by Frico, but we can be the WikiLeaks of the Renegades.
Well, not exactly an affectionate nickname, is it?
Oh, he loves it, I believe.
Which
But
speaks to the personality as well.
Rusty Creed last year was bunkmates with Frico, or Steve Bell. We'll call him Steve Bell. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Golfed into right field, giving chase is Slunder. Puts it away for round number 3, and we'll keep it right here to hear some. Actually, no, we'll send it to break. We'll come back with more Frico stories in the bottom of the 9th. Renegades down to the final 3 outs, need 7 runs to win, 6 to tie. We'll be right back here. You're watching Renegades Baseball on UClick TV. Austin Blakovich on to pinch hit in the bottom of the 9th in Jefferson City as the Renegades trail the Bombers 9-3. Hard hit ground ball, third base, and that eats up Jones. Blakovich, what you think, Zach? Didn't touch it, but he should have had it.
I think that's one of those you'd certainly like to have it. His coach will get on him, but I think you got to go with the hit there.
I think if the third baseman doesn't touch it, it caught a bad bounce on the infield dirt.
It was certainly an Olay where the third baseman Jones should have gotten in front of that ball and at the very least knocked it down. But Blazevic, junior from SEMO, he'll take it.
Now that brings up Jordan Smith. The Renegades have a tall task against Josiah Imhoff. Nathan Kruner finishes his day of relief work, 2 2/3 innings pitched. The 0-1 pitch misses outside 1-1. He's able to strike out 4 Renegades. However, walked 3. So Imhoff coming out on the hill, trying to shut things down for the Renegades on opening night at Ernie Vivian Field. Now back to Steve Bell. Rusty Creed trying to be quite a prankster with Steve Bell on a couple of road trips. One night before they got back to the hotel, Rusty Creed took some bags of Doritos and Lay's potato chips. As a ground ball to shortstop. What a play by Laporte. Throw to second, over to first, not in time. Laporte, what a diving play. Absolutely incredible.
And that's one of those where Laporte was bailed out by the fact that there was a runner on first base. All he had to do was get possession of the ball, and it didn't matter that he was on the seat of his pants. He could just flip it over to second base. So Bombers doing a fantastic job to get an out on what was really a scalded pitch from Smith.
One on, one out for Tyler Brock, but again, never going to be able to finish the Frico story. Rusty Creed took bags of potato chips, the small little snack-sized ones, and put them underneath his sheets. So when he laid in bed, it was all crinkly, and apparently Steve Bell did not notice it the entire night. 2-0 pitch, driven into right field. There's a base knock for Tyler Brock, his first of the year. Renegades with runners at first and second base sends it back up top of the order. Ridge Rogers, 1 for 4 in the day. Trying to reach base once again. Another one, which this one I like a little bit more. The team was playing up in St. Joe last year. They stopped at Pizza Ranch to have one of their pregame luncheons. And Rusty Creed won't admit to it, which I don't know if it was Rusty who could have done this, but somebody took their belt when Frico was in the bathroom stall and tied the stall together. And he wasn't able to get out. Took him quite a while to figure out exactly what had happened. The team was wrapping up their meal and Frico wasn't coming out of the bathroom. 1-0 pitch blown by Ridge Rogers.
What would have really been mean is if they just left him there.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners at first and second. The pitch. Fouled off, strike 2. Well, and another Twitter account that arose last year called Frico's Cortex. Just some things that Steve Bell said around the clubhouse that got tweeted out, taken out of context.
That's a dangerous game to play.
Not in a mean way. This one's popped up out of play. If you have a suggestion for a tweet along the lines of this, root beer really does float. I tested it. Then go ahead and tweet at Frico's Cortex by all means. or go check out at Euclid TV. We'll have highlights from tonight's game posted up within hours after the game. The only media sponsor of the Jefferson City Renegades. 1-2 pitch, punched out, buckled the knees of Rogers. Goes back to the dugout. Renegades down to their final out.
Shortstop,
Justin
Justin McIntyre.
McIntyre, and our apologies, the McIntyre family has been listening all night. They've been calling him McIntyre, but McIntyre is 2 for 3 with 2 singles and an RBI in the 6th. Grounds the first pitch foul off of Garcia's leg guard.
Really nice start to the season for McIntyre, who is new to the Renegades organization. Freshman from Portage, Michigan. One of 2 players on this team that's playing his college ball at Western Michigan University.
You have some Western Michigan ties, if that's correct, Zach.
Western Michigan has a special plate in the heart of the family. Both my parents are proud alumni of the Western Michigan Broncos in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
One of the funner names to say, or more fun names to say.
They have a couple famous alumni there.
Like Toledo.
They have Greg Jennings, Packers great, went to Western Michigan, and Terry Crews, well-known actor, also went to Western. Not a bad place to go to school.
1-2 pitch. That one gets behind Garcia. Runners move up. And deuces wild for Justin McIntyre.
So now McIntyre in a desirable position with runners on second and third. They will surely score, probably without a throw, given the score on the board here in the bottom of the 9th. That could maybe give the Renegades a little bit of a push. They'd need one heck of a rally.
Down by 6 with 2 outs. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. McIntyre taking his cuts. Not just the fact that he plays shortstop, but has some resemblance to Tanner Wietrich, who ended up committing to Iowa before coming to the Renegades and had to leave halfway through the season. He was really tearing it up, hit above 400 before having to leave. Trying to fill the void, the 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball and off the foul pole, rather the flagpole.
And right back to the pitcher.
Is his name Justin McIntyre or Pinball Wizard? 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Renegades 1 strike and 1 out away from this game being put in the books. Again, tomorrow night we will be at Sedalia, Missouri, and we hope you choose to join us again. Here's the set in the 2-2 pitch. Grounded hard down the third base line. D'Amelia tries to make a nice barehanded snag, but can't come up with it. Again, Mike D'Amelia is coaching over at first base, and Mike D'Amelia at third base and Rusty Creed at first. Not mic'd up today. That is coming. Always a lot of fun out here at Ernie Vivian Field. Hope you join us at the ballpark. Here's the 2-2. Ball 3, good eye by McIntyre, and he has the makings of a very patient hitter. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch. Ball 4, bases loaded. Back-to-back walks McIntyre has drawn. He's been on base 4 times out of 5 on the day. Hands things off to Logan Hudson, who's single back in the 8th. Crazier things have happened with 2 outs. This is why you play every out in baseball. There's no taking a knee. There's no running out the clock. You've got to face the music.
We've talked about the dimensions of the park a couple times, but with the swing of a bat.
First pitch, hard hit foul ball, but out of play. There's a large gap in left center field. Lewis in left is playing the line. But if Hudson even could zip it over the head of Laporte at second base, get it into the alley, that could at least score 2. Keep the line moving, the pitch. Pitch is in there, strike 2. How often do you see a catcher go down to his knees and the pitch be called a strike? I think Don Bauman did have the right call in that situation. You just don't see it that often.
Hudson didn't agree with it too much, but to your point, James.
I think it caught just a piece of the outside corner. The 0-2 pitch high for ball 1.
To your point, with Chris guarding the line over on left, there is a similarly large hole on the right field line as they're kind of shifting Hudson that way. You wonder, with it being the first game of the season, they probably don't have the book on him yet, but choosing to play to the pull side.
0-2 pitch in the dirt. Great stop by Garcia. And keeps things interesting with another 2-ball, 2-strike count. Looks like Hudson and Bauman made amends. Bauman called a lot of games here last summer.
Well, if there's one thing that you could give the Renegades credit for, they have not quit. They've been down to their last strike numerous times tonight, but have refused to pack it in.
Set in the 2-2. Ball 3. Imhoff has issued a full count to the number 3 hitter with Mike Million on deck. Theoretically, the tying run is in the hole. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. The 3-2 pitch, ground ball, third base. Jones scoops it, can't get it out of his glove, throw to first, and safe! Renegades score 2. And what a lucky break. They're down by 4, 9-5 your score.
Well, boy, I think that was the right call, James. Sedalia coaching staff not happy about it one bit, but the double clutch at third gave Hudson just enough time to scamper down that line. And how about a heads-up play, advancing from second to home to score the 5th run of the game.
Craig McAndrews getting a better explanation from Doug Bauman. He'll take his lumps, and Renegades will have to keep on swinging. Mike Million hitless on the night. It would be nice if he could join the hit club. Gotta love the heads-up base running and base coaching by Mike DeMilia at first base. Was able to get in 2 on that double clutch, just like you mentioned it. The nice thing is that the carousel started early with the bases being full. As Mike Million takes the first pitch strike. So Tyler Brock was really hot on the heels of Jordan Smith. He was rounding the horn. So 2 RBI infield single for Logan Hudson. Here's the pitch. Outside, misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And you have to be careful with Million here. Mink League high 9 home runs, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, James. He would represent run number 8 if he could get one over the fence.
The pitch. Ball 2 outside. More importantly, if you can draw a walk and then give it to Quincy Jones, he's the tying run. At how far down the Renegades were, if you would have told me that they would have at least get the tying run in the on-deck circle, I maybe would have not have believed you. Mike Million at the plate, the 2-1. Taken inside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Mike Million just trying to hand it off to Quincy Jones.
And you can't really go around Million here because of the reason you just mentioned, James. That would bring the tying run to the plate.
3-1 pitch. Ball 4. And Quincy Jones taking some practice swings, has a beautifully balanced swing. If he can make contact and drive it over the right field wall, this place would go berserk.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, do we have a ball game here? We just may. Jones with a very tall frame. Surely some power in that bat. But it's also important to stay inside yourself, or stay within yourself rather, in a situation such as this.
Looks like Boomer will go possibly to his bullpen. At least going to have a meeting at the mound. Rusty Creed's bringing it in, so I think that's goodbye. That's all she wrote for Josiah Imhoff. And a save situation on the risers for Sedalia, Missouri. Rather, for the Sedalia Bombers in Jefferson City, Missouri. And we'll be right back after this pitching change. We'll be right back here watching Renegades Baseball on UClick TV. Austin Hansel on to slam the door on the Renegades and try to get the save in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. Quincy Jones at the plate, bases loaded. And not a good start for Hansel, cannot get on the same page with Garcia. And this is what you want to see if you're a Renegades fan. McIntyre at third, Hudson at second, Million at first. Jones at the plate, the tying run, the pitch. Curveball inside, ball 1. Can't believe I'm saying this, Zach, but the winning run is on deck. Renegades have gotten 3 base runners in a row, walk, single walk. See if they can bring them home. Here's the 1-0. Right down the middle for a strike, and that's a good look by Jones. You want to try to get the temperature of the water, figure out what Hansel's going to be dealing. With that long, sweet swing, try to drive it over the 340 sign and right. The set from Hansel. The pitch. Hit in the opposite way, left field and foul. That's what you like to see from Jones. He's not trying to do too much. He's not swinging out of his shoes. He's just trying to put the ball in play. And if he gets that ball in the meatier part of the bat and gets his whole swing through it, that one might be gone.
And you're exactly right, James. He doesn't have to. He's 6'7" and 225 pounds. He doesn't have to try to force it to hit home runs. He can just get his extension and swing.
Here's the set. The 1-2. Ground ball, second base. Cushman bobbles it. Everybody's going to be safe. Renegades stay alive. They're down 9-6.
Unbelievable, James. The Bombers just can't get out of their own way here in the bottom of the ninth. Jones got a hanging breaking pitch. And he tried to go yard with it to tie the game and instead got on top of it and hammered it straight down into the dirt. The chopper to the second baseman, Cushman, looked like an easy final out to the game. But boy, it proved otherwise, didn't it, James?
Man, oh man, winning run at the plate. Renegades trail by 3. Tying run at first base. Mike D'Amelia is going to go to Marquise Doherty as a pinch hitter for Jake Slunder.
Doherty, a 200-pound junior from Gladstone, Missouri. Another one of those William Woods connections you mentioned, James.
Multi-sport athlete, to say the least. Doherty hit .248 this spring. A lot of power off the bat. That's one thing that Rusty Creed talked about him last night. Has the potential to be a real force this summer as a home run hitter, but the fact is, when can he make contact? He's kind of the model child as to what Major League Baseball has become as of late. Hit with low average, but for power. 1-0 pitch. Outside, ball 1-1 evens up the count.
Low batting average, high slugging percentage, and we talked about the home run with Quincy Jones. Now, a ball in the gap that rolls to the wall could tie this thing up.
Or a home run wins it. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled away.
And that's what makes baseball so exciting, James. How many times have the Renegades been down to their last strike tonight? We're talking about an extra base hit, maybe a bases clearing double. The runners will be running on the crack of the bat with 2 outs here.
They've been down to their last strike 4 times, going back to the strikeout looking by Ridge Rogers.
And they have just kept fighting.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. There it is. Punch him out. Marquise Doherty caught looking. And the Renegades try to give it a ride in the ninth. They made it a little bit interesting for the Sedalia Bombers, but they fall 9-6. Their final score from Jefferson City, Missouri. And Zach, as we start to wrap things up here for the Renegades, tomorrow we will be on the road in Sedalia. Liberty Park baseball action, and gotta love the effort from the Renegades tonight. They did not give up. Came down to the wire, last strike 3-4 times, and eventually was a called strike 3 that got out Marquise Doherty.
No, not a fantastic at-bat by Doherty. That's one he'll want to forget. However, in a game in which the Renegades certainly didn't play their best baseball, not from the pitching mound or in the field, to rally in the ninth, to get some confidence moving into the game tomorrow, you only lost this thing 9-6. This was, when it was all said and done, a contested game. So you have to love the fight if you're a Renegades fan, and like we always say, there's another game tomorrow in baseball. They'll have a chance against Sedalia tomorrow in the home and home, a chance to get some revenge, and then 3 games against the Clarinda A's. So a lot of baseball left to be played, and we'll see if an identity forms within this Jefferson City squad over the weekend.
Identity of not giving up. Your winning pitcher is Spencer Juergens, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Austin Hansel comes in with the save. 1/3 of an inning thrown with 1 strikeout. Did give up 1 base runner, which was an error. Your losing pitcher, Alex Loosbrock, in his first start as a Renegade. 5 innings thrown, 6 runs, 3 of them earned, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. Bright spot for the Renegades, Caleb Lasher's 6th inning of relief work. 1-run baseball, no runs given up, 0 hits, 0 strikeouts, 1 walk surrendered. Looking to tomorrow, keys to the game, Zach.
Keys to the game certainly is going to be playing better in the field. They need to settle down defensively, especially on the infield. You can't put your pitcher behind the 8 ball like they did early in the game tonight. That's what led to the run in the first inning, as well as the multi-run home run by Flores. Both of those runners reached by way of an error, I believe an E5 and an E6 respectively. So the Renegades will need to clean that up. They need to settle down a little bit, but it's also to be expected. It's opening day. There was probably a layoff between the spring season and now, so if they can get that cleaned up, and hopefully the bus ride gets it out of them tomorrow and they'll be ready to play baseball tomorrow. I think the offense, with the fight tonight, I think you have to be pretty happy with what you did. I think it's just the defense and then a little bit cleaner and tighter on the mound.
Renegades strike for 3 runs in the 6th and 3 runs in the 9th. Not quite enough. They come up short to the Sedalia Bombers. They lose 9-6. Bombers strike for 1 run in the first, 2 runs in the 4th, 3 runs in the 5th, 1 run in the 7th, and 2 runs in the 8th. We look at some of the stats tonight from Sedalia. Impressive outings from Ryan Flores. He went 2 for 4 with 3 runs driven in on a 2-run home run in the 4th, and an RBI single in the 1st that opened up the game. Not to mention a sacrifice fly that drove in a run in the 8th. So 4 RBIs total for Flores. And Santiago Garcia, another bright spot, 2 for 5 on the day. Did ground out to a double play and struck out in his first 2 at bats, but then rallied to drive in 4 runs on 2 doubles. But other than that, Ashanti Wheatley, I guess the only other bright spot. Every time he reached base tonight for Sedalia, except for once he scored, reached on 2 errors, 1 hit batter, and was walked twice, stole 2 bases. So Zach, that's going to wrap it up for us here from Ernie Vivian Field. We will be back tomorrow night live from Sedalia, Missouri. But we thank you for joining us here on UClick TV as the Renegades drop Game 1 of the 2018 season 9-6. As General Grant said to General Sherman after the first day of the Battle of Shiloh, we'll whoop them tomorrow and the broadcast will be on full 9 innings. So with that, good night from Ernie Vivian Field. This is James Stanley saying so long for Zach Zook, our producer, or brainchild, however you want to give his title, Jim Bly back in Chillicothe, Missouri. And God bless. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.